Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here. So today, coming at you with a really cool deck. It's not just Shaddolls. This is actually Shaddoll Trickstar deck. I'll explain the choices here, but Trickstars are basically just adding you more ways of getting, to some links in your extra deck, and also just giving you another win condition. We'll get into all that. But yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed, because I have some awesome decks coming up. I have at least like 10 new decks to the channel, 10 to 15 new decks. So yeah, let's start with the Shaddoll monsters. Let's get that more in the frame. 2 Windy. Obviously, in a pure Shaddoll deck, you would play 3 because she's just really good. Basically, you're going to be able to, her flip effect, special summon a Shaddoll from your deck in face up or face down defense. And then if she's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon a Shaddoll monster from your deck in face down defense position. So yeah, she just gets everything going for you. We have 2 Squamata. Basically, when that's sent to the graveyard, you're going to be able to send any Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard. 2 Hedgehog. I won't go over all their flip effects and stuff. Mostly just when they're sent to the graveyard. If Hedgehog is sent, you'll be able to add a Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand. Shaddoll Beast is some really good draw power. His flip effect, draw 2, discard 1. Then if he's sent to the graveyard, you'll be able to just draw a card. So really cool. And then 1 Dragon, mostly used to destroy a spell and trap on the field when he's sent to the graveyard. And then 1 Falco. If it's sent to the grave, you can just special summon this card in defense position, so it kind of just gets another body on board. And then also the 1 Ariel. Her flip effect is you can target one of your banished Shaddoll monsters, special summon it in face up or face down defense position. And if it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, target up to 3 cards in your graveyard and banish them, or up to 3 cards in either graveyard and banish them. So that could potentially get rid of a card your opponent's trying to use in their graveyard. Get rid of that. So that's kind of cool. And then we're playing just 1 Trick Clown. It's really good if you use that to go into like Construct, because then you get just a free monster on board to then extend your plays even further. It's just a free card basically. And then for our Trick Stars, kind of a small engine. It's obviously a Shaddoll deck with a small little Trickstar engine in it. 2 Candina to search any Trickstar, basically. And then 1 Korobane. It's a good search, sometimes off of like Light Stage. Be able to just special summon it for free, basically. And then 1 Lilybell. You can actually just do a 3-card engine if you want to. Lilybell's just there in case you already have the Korobane. You get another just free body on board, because if she's added to your hand, you just special summon it. Simple as that. And then actually, if this card inflicts battle damage and it can attack directly, you can just target a Trickstar monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's a way of getting back a Candina or Korobane. Kind of nice. And then our normal summon, basically, other than Candina, is going to be Mathematician. Obviously, it's the best normal summon for Shaddolls. Really good card. And then the last of our monsters is Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Reincarnation is basically the reason for playing the Trickstar engine, because, like I said, that just adds another win condition to the deck, because you can a lot of times just outright win if you do Droll Reincarnation, and you should be able to win pretty easily if that actually goes through. So just a super easy, and honestly, Droll and Lockbird is just a good card in general anyway, a good hand trap. But yeah, you throw in Reincarnation and they're done. So the spells, obviously the main reason for playing Shaddolls, Shaddoll Fusion, was it's such an amazing card. Going first, obviously, going to fusion plays, but then going second, if your opponent has a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can use monsters from your deck to then fusion summon, which makes this card super crazy. And then the one that is still necessary, just not as good, El Shaddoll Fusion. It's a quick play. That's what actually is good about it. It's just another way of fusion summoning. Then our last fusion spell is going to be Super Polymerization. It's, again, just another way of going second. Obviously going first, it's still really good. And, yeah, most of the time you're just going to be using your opponent's monsters, going to Super Poly, and ruin their day. And then our one-ofs, the one light stage, you're going to be able to add a Trickstar monster from your deck to your hand. Then you can also basically freeze a set card in your opponent's spell and trap zone. So, really good card. There's a reason it's at 1. And then Emergency Teleport. It's mostly here, obviously, to just get a free body. It's your way of just getting out Wendy. But it's also a way of abusing Super Poly, or just being able to use it using your Shaddoll monsters, because they have to be on the field for Super Poly. So getting Emergency Teleport, just getting a free monster on board to then use for Super Poly to go into a Shaddoll monster instead of just one of your Super Poly targets is sometimes nice. So it's in there just for versatility. And then obviously Foolish Burial. Have to play it to just send whatever Shaddoll monster you need to the grave. That's the spells. And then the traps. Obviously, we're going to play 3 Reincarnation. You're going to banish your opponent's entire hand, and then they draw the same number of cards. And then also, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target a Trickstar monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So just 2 amazing effects. Yeah, like I said, with this and Droll, you're going to wait for your opponent to, add to their hand, activate Droll, and then you'll be able to Droll Reincarnation them so that they can they have to banish their hand and then they can't draw. That's basically the gimmick there. And then we're playing 2 Resh Shaddoll Incarnation. It's just another really good card for Shaddolls to just keep their plays going and interruption, all kinds of good stuff. And then just 1 Shaddoll Schism. During the main phase, you can fusion summon 1 Shaddoll fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing the monsters from your field or graveyard. So it's just another way, you have your fusions that you have on board. They're usually sent to the graveyard, and then you can then fusion summon again with this, using those cards in the graveyard. So it's really cool. Nice just one of. You don't have to see it. You actually usually want to see at least first turn. Most time for me, I want to see the Resh over this Shaddoll Schism. But yeah, they're really good. And that's it for the traps. For the extra deck, we are of course playing 2 Construct. There's a reason it was limited, or banned actually. And then there's also the reason that it's unlimited now, because it's really, really good. But then, nowadays it's not as good as it was, but it still is really good because at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summon monster, you simply just destroy the monster. And then also, when it's special summoned, you're able to send a Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard, which again just keeps your plays going. That's kind of, this deck does very well. Just a lot of plays, got a lot of different stuff you can do. Play 2 Winda. Cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects, and each player can only special summon once per turn. So it's kind of a nice little lock on your opponent. 1 App Cologne. Comes up every now and then. When it's special summoned, the main effect you're going to be using is target a face-up card in the field and negate its effects. Really nice. And then the last one is going to be 1 Shek. Basically, when a special summon monster activates its effect while you have a Shaddoll card in your hand, you negate the activation and then destroy that monster. Then send 1 Shaddoll card from your hand to the graveyard. So you can potentially get off some pretty good effects there, but just negating that special summon monster effect is nice. And then our 2 super poly targets, we're doing Dragostapelia for those fusion decks that you're playing. It just requires a fusion and a dark. And then Starving Venom, of course, because generally speaking, the better cards that your opponent's going to be special summoning are dark, at least from the extra deck, like your Borreload Savage and other cards like that. So nice to have both of those. And then our links, we are playing Cross Sheep. So our Trickstar engine, again, is just kind of free monsters on board. And obviously access to Trickstar Reincarnation, which is amazing. But you can easily make this with your Trickstar engine. So that's one. Gravity Controller. Since we have all these, especially these 2 free fusions, sometimes it's nice to just make a Gravity Controller. You can open up another zone and then use this to just battle an opponent's monster in the extra monster zone and then just return that to the hand so it doesn't return it to the deck and this card to the deck, so it just gets rid of a problematic card. And then playing 3 Nightmares, so doing Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn. Again, with that Trickstar engine, it now allows you to go into this, which is really nice for breaking boards. So just, yeah, free monsters are always nice for making stuff that just, especially going second, can just demolish a board. And those 3 cards do that. And then we're also playing IP Masquerena. Again, still, it just requires 2 non-link monsters. And then it's giving you an interruption on your opponent's turn. Because then you can either go into Unicorn, or I like to go into Avermax sometimes. So that's always an option. But yeah, that is the deck, guys. It is actually a really powerful deck. Really fun to play as well. Again, just full of options. And just a lot of cool stuff that it does, that it can do. Make a Winda, Trickstar Reincarnation Droll, and you usually win. So yeah, cool deck, fun deck, try it out, and we'll catch you on the next one.